Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ethan Chiang and I'm a first year Master of Architecture student at Yale University. It's officially the end of week 2 and it's been super busy these past 2 weeks. So really I wish I had filmed this video last week, but it's been too busy and I thought I have to document this right now before I forget. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the courses I'm taking and just my impressions of the university so far and what it's like on Zoom, Yale University. Last week was the first time I actually got to step into Rudolph Hall, where the architecture building is. And it's an incredible space. On the outside it looks like this concrete heavy mass, but on the inside it's actually so beautiful and warm, and it's got like beautiful paprika orange carpets, which really contrasts well with the concrete, and there's so much light and space inside. I get 2 desk spaces, which I'll add some footage of my studio space to show you guys my desk. We only get to use the studios about like 5 hours a day, sometimes 10 hours a day, but like the schedule is on a rotation basis. So at the moment, studio is pretty empty, which kind of sucks because studio is usually where you get to meet everybody from different year groups. Having said that, it's better than not having studio at all. So I think it's a great space. Like, I've loved meeting the people in my studio. I just wish we had more time to bond and like do more socializing outside, but that's just a restriction due to COVID. So the courses I'm taking this semester include Design Studio, where we actually design and do a visualization project. Second course I'm taking is called Designing Social Equality, where we're looking at objects and its relationship to politics. Third course that I'm taking is called Formal Analysis, which is by Eisenman, so that's gonna be super cool. We're looking at Renaissance buildings and doing weekly drawings of them and trying to distill the key concepts within them. It's kind of like an analytical drawing, but yeah, that's super cool, and just to like see people interpret buildings through different drawing types. The fourth class I'm taking is Modern History in Architecture. So I thought I'd share with you guys a little bit about what I was working on. So I'm filming this on a Friday, and usually on a Friday morning I have lectures with Eisenman. So the first assignment that we had was to draw the unseen and draw what cannot be seen. I don't know if I did it really successfully. We were also asked to draw on Mylar, which is the first time I've ever drawn on it. So yeah, this turned out. This is how it turned out. So you can see it's 2 different churches, and we're trying to distill, and below is the diagram of it. It's by Brunelleschi, I think. One is called San Spirito, and the other one is called Santa Spirito and San Lorenzo. So that's this week's drawing. In Design Studio, we're working on an image object, which I have over here. This is the image I chose, and our assignment is to do something to translate a 2D image into a 3-dimensional form. This is Construct A+A by Barbara Kasten. It was done in 1984, and so I'm working with this image and trying to distill the 3-dimensional qualities that I can find within this image. It's really abstract. There is no like program in use. Like for those of you who are like architects who are thinking like, what are you designing? It's a really conceptual project right now, so we're designing an image object. That's what it's called, an image object. This was something that I was working on this past week. It's super shiny, and you might be looking at it like, what is that? Like, is it junk? Is it garbage? Like, why is it wrapped in tinfoil? It's not tinfoil actually, it's reflective paper. But anyways, yeah, the idea is, I don't know if you can see this, but maybe this would be clearer side by side. Oh, it's the wrong way around. But yeah, I'm trying to distill the 3-dimensional qualities and put it into this image box. And the idea behind it is really to like bring you in, like there's some really cool like moments and like loops inside, like spaces inside, so I'm trying to play with that and the material and the color. I don't know where it's gonna go, and I feel kind of insecure about showing a project midway before it's finished, but yeah, like, you know, usually projects I don't like, or like haven't turned out great, I leave it out, so I feel insecure about that. But you guys are special, so you guys get a little sneak peek on what I'm doing. We don't always get access to studio, so I'm working currently between here and studio. And that's one thing. Another thing that I'm getting used to is just like running back and forth with my shop and stop bag with my models inside, and like kind of showing up to class like, oh yeah, this is my model. So that's something to get used to, and just being resourceful. I think this semester, because of the lack of access to facilities, it's really pushing us to like think about how to use our time really wisely, and like to use what we have access to really wisely, which I think is a good thing. I'm still learning. Oh, and the last course that I'm taking is designing social equality, which I think was really interesting because we were asked to make political posters for the first project. I don't know if I should show you guys this, but yeah. My dad said this was like a huge nappy. But yeah, it's this semester is getting underway. I really wish the one thing I will say about Zoom University is that I do wish there were more social events at the moment. Like, it's really hard to meet a lot of people. A lot of people you will see on Zoom, like I'm sure you guys know, when you look at Zoom, you see like, oh, this grid of people, or like who's on there, like you want to see your classmates, and a lot of people I have yet to meet, even though we're in the same year group. So it's like sometimes you bump into them in the stairwell and you're like, oh, I know you. Or like, do they know me? I'm like, you just in that awkwardness of whether you say hi or not. This is something really new to navigate, but I'm glad that I'm here, like overall. Like if you're hesitating about doing university during a time like COVID, I would say don't, and just make it what it is, because life is gonna go on anyway, and you don't want to miss out on it. And this is an experience in itself. So I'm really glad to be here. I'm really happy around here. Each time when we go into studio, I feel like it's such an interesting way of learning, because what I'm used to is that like the tutor is telling you everything, like giving you feedback. It's like a one-on-one like feedback loop where it's like, oh, your project is this, you should do that, oh, you did it horribly here. Whereas over here, I feel like studio is really interesting because whenever we meet for a project, my critic, Nikole, I say critic and tutor like interchangeably because we call them tutors back at home in Hong Kong. But my critic will be like, oh, does anyone have feedback for Ethan or whatever, and then the floor really goes to everyone, and it's like everyone has a voice around here. And so you're not only getting like feedback from your professor or your critic over here about your project, but it's really about your classmates, which I think is really great because everyone here has such cool ideas, and like everyone has like their own approach to how a project can turn out. So it's really great. Like you just like want to soak it all in and marinate and then fall asleep and not do any of the work because it's a lot of work. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited to share with you guys my process around here, and hopefully a little bit more to come in the future. Let me know what you guys want to see, what you guys want to hear about. Maybe I'll do a video outside so you guys can get to see more of the campus. But yeah, hopefully I'll include more of that in the future, and it's not just me talking in my room. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.